Hello, everyone. This is going to be a very quick live because up until 40 minutes ago, two kids in Australia were missing after going for a walk on Monday. And there was a search underway yesterday. And again, it recommenced. And great news, it's just broken that both Eli and Hannah Jones have been found after going for a stroll on Monday. So it's great news. Got to be the best kind of live ever, really. I was going to do the whole, Google Earth thing and um, sort of have a look at the terrain where they were missing. Australia's had a really good track record this year of finding missing kids. So it was one I was interested in following and have been following. It's my first chance to go live about it, and news has just broken that the siblings have been found. I'll just have a quick read. I haven't even read the article yet. They went for a walk. They live in Cairns Flat, which is, I think, about 40 kilometres away from Mudgee in New South Wales. Emergency services got called out to the property after reports the two kids, Eli Jones, age 14, and his sister Hannah, 12, had left their house on Monday afternoon at about 2:30 p.m. to go for a walk, but they didn't return. So by 6 p.m. the parents raised the alarm. But they've been found. They've had like choppers and people on the ground. It's been a massive search for them, but it's fabulous news. Like this tweet from New South Wales Police Force. Wonderful news. Two children missing from a rural property near Mudgee have been located safe and well. Following an extensive search, they were located by Pol Air, that's like the police helicopter, I believe, in bushland at about midday today, and they were being escorted back to their family and will be assessed by paramedics. So the article below is while they were still missing, but I guess it'll be interesting to find out what happened. They probably went off on a big adventure and managed to get lost or something and decided to stay put. It is great news. Deb, how are you? And almost Happy New Year, gorgeous. I guess while I'm live, I might just quickly do a little update for everyone on Hillcrest Primary School. The other case we've been following, but the two children who were still in hospital, let me just remove this. Super quick live, Deb. I'm about to go for a walk on the beach. But just for any smooth criminal peeps who come back, I'll have a look at this a little bit later. Some of you know that one of my work colleagues, her partner's nephew, was in hospital, and there's a little story about Declan. We talked about him a bit on this channel. He's recovering, but it's still a long way to go for the Devonport community. It's also a long way to go for little Declan. There's Declan. He has had like a really full-on fight to survive. The fact that he's doing okay is absolutely fabulous. But they brought him out of the medically induced coma. He's had surgery in a couple of places on his body. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he managed to eat a slice of pizza. So that's a sign that he's doing better. Hey, Morgan. It is a stunning day. I am going to go on the beach. I just wanted to do a quick live just to let everyone know about the two missing kids, but now they've been found. There's no such word as should, and I've already been on the beach once today, so I'm going to grab my biggie board, my boogie board, and head back down. Yeah, they better give him all the pizza he wants. He's got some pretty bad injuries, and there he is eating his pizza. There's Declan. He is going to have to go to Melbourne for surgery. He's also got potentially about 6 months in a wheelchair and will need to learn how to walk again as well. But yeah, it's really good news. So, yeah. There's also been funerals for some of the victims. That's little Zane Mellor, one of the kids who died. His funeral, I think, is today. Oh, no, sorry, that was on Thursday. Just awful leading into Christmas. But there's a little update that Declan's out of his medically induced coma and on the road to recovery, but has quite a battle ahead of him. Rub it in. Yeah. And other than that, there was a really horrible murder here in Tasmania on Christmas Day. Hi, Francesca. I'm not going to cover it because they've already arrested and charged the man responsible for murdering his former partner and the mother of their two children on Christmas Day in front of the children. But Rachel Wake was a very loved midwife here in Hobart. She worked at Hobart Private Hospital. And it's another horrible domestic violence scenario, and just absolutely gut-wrenching. So there's no need for me to cover that story. I hope he pleads guilty, but it's just hideous to think the two kids are now not only without their mum, but because of their father's actions, which is pretty horrific. But I didn't know Rachel personally, but I know a lot of people who worked with her, and everyone is still incredibly in shock about it, and terribly sad. You just don't expect, unfortunately, in a way, we do have to expect it. Domestic violence is a huge issue. Yeah, look, I might just show you one of the stories just before I wrap up. But you definitely don't expect to, ever have people that you know murdered. And a lot of my friends who worked with her are really, really struggling. It's just so awful. Let me just get the story up about Rachel. I've just grabbed the first article. It's from the Daily Mail. But a lot of you know I'm pretty vocal about family violence, and we do talk about a lot on this channel and also on Traces of Nuts. But Rachel was 52 years old, and her teenage children, Romany and Gabriel, were present during the attack. Romany took to Facebook to post a moving tribute to her late mother, saying, "I wish our last hug was one bit tighter." She wrote, "I love you dearly." And Darren Mark Wake, age 60, has been charged by police with a murder. Pardon me. She was still alive when police found her, but a very serious condition with knife wounds to her upper body. And she later died in the Royal Hobart Hospital. And both of the teenage kids were there when it happened, which is incredibly hideous to think and so sad. But that's Rachel, who was a very loved midwife at Hobart Private Hospital, and she'd recently started seeing someone, and, from what everyone was saying, she was the happiest she'd been in such a long time. That's Rachel with her daughter, Romany, who witnessed it. She says, "I'm going to miss your over-filtered photos, your hugs as I had a bad day, and our cooking. I wish our last hug was one bit tighter." And there's a few more photos as well. Oh. Thank you, everyone, with the ongoing support of... That was Romany, by the way, in the other photo. The ongoing support from Mum's passing. To honour her life, I've created a page to bring awareness to her story and to enforce stricter domestic violence laws. I'd really appreciate a follow or a share, as Mum's voice needs to be shouted. It's just so sad. And, this sort of stuff doesn't happen in Tassie a lot. I mean, we do have hideous domestic violence statistics like all of Australia does and around the world too, but it was a massive shock. So very, very sad. So rest in peace, Rachel Wake. Yeah, it's an awful, awful story. It is horrible, Deb. We do share that experience, and but it's just a global pandemic, really. Family violence, it's hideous. And, you look at cases this year, the biggest case really would have been Gabby Petito, another domestic violence murder. And these beautiful lives are being taken so brutally and so senselessly, and kids are being left without their parents, essentially, both mum and dad. I'll just see if there's anything else under here. I mean, they say a man known to Ms. Wake, Darren Mark Wake, 60, has been charged by Tasmanian police with murder. So I haven't seen an article confirming that he's the father of the children, but there were a lot of comments from people who knew her about how she had said that, people knew that he'd been really bad news, and especially when she started seeing this new guy who she was incredibly happy with. So although they're not naming him as the father, or maybe I shouldn't jump to that conclusion, but there was certainly a lot of comments online that indicated she'd expressed fear before due to the father of the children. So there's a page also set up called Rachel's Voice, personal blog, which is also to bring awareness to her story. There's more photos here. Sorry if I'm racing through them a bit, but it's the same photos again. So, yeah, it's horrific, absolutely horrific. Because you're getting all the zooming outs and stuff. It was very disorganised when I hit the go live button. And then just some other tributes. There's a GoFundMe for her family as well. But a lot of people were commenting about what an amazing midwife she was, and a lot of the nurses who work with her have commented as well. She was very, very loved, both at work and also by the women that she helped as a midwife. Miss Wake had supported another woman and her husband through miscarriages and the birth of our 2 boys. Our first Sam was born prim. We spent a month in the special care nursery with Rachel, and lots of conversations were had about her love for her children. She was kind, patient, and understanding. And they've already raised over 80,000 as of this morning. So, yeah, that was another really horrible Christmas story. But rest in peace, Rachel. If there are any sort of twists or turns in this story, I might go into it in more detail next time, but really just wanted to go live and talk about the 2 missing kids. But the great news is they have been found. Maybe Rachel helped them find them. I don't know. Sometimes I like to think that there are bigger powers out there that are having a hand in outcomes of things. But great to hear that Eli and his sister Hannah Jones have been found. It's great to know that Declan is now out of his coma, one of the kids in the Hillcrest Primary School bouncy castle tragedy. But sadly, yes, another beautiful woman has senselessly lost her life. So, I mean, this is Smooth Criminal Podcast channel. It's not necessarily always great news. I'm thinking of doing a live on this channel later today. And then, of course, tomorrow night, Finn and I will be doing Batshit 6. And I think it's going to be on Finn's channel. So keep an eye out for notifications for that, and have a beautiful night or day wherever you are. And remember to tell people you love them. I'll see you all again soon. I'm going to go back to the beach. Bye for now.